Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. 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 When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. Pray. Pray.
Welcome, everyone, to Dr. Pillai's Religion of Religions YouTube channel. Today's Monday, July 11th, 2022. We're about to do a planetary puja using the chart of now based on the location that I am in at the moment, which is Florida. Dr. Pillai has said the foundation of all religions is love. It is his desire through the Religion of Religions YouTube channel to unite the many different sects of all religions by meeting in the spiritual realm, by meeting in the heart. We believe in the supreme divine power taking form in all gods and goddesses from every other religion and celebrate their existence on planet Earth. The intention on this channel is to give an authentic experience of God, the experience of divine love, where there is no separation from each other. So thank you very much for joining us on the channel. My name is Swamini Valli. I am a Pillai Center teacher and an AstroVed astrologer. I'm your host for these calls, and I'm very happy to be doing this. We're honoring the different planets, the stars, the archetypes that rule the stars. All of these stars and planets are more than just something physical in the sky. They're also a being, a light being, a divine being associated with them. This puja that we're about to do is going to be using the South Indian style of the chart. And it's a puja, kind of an advanced puja, to be honest, that was taught to myself and Raja, Mina's brother, by Dr. Pillai several years ago. And you're welcome to follow along at home if you like. However, if all this is brand new to you, that's okay too. Dr. Pillai has said the names of each of the planets and stars. It's also a quantum sound or a mantra. And even just hearing the sounds helps us to start to have more of a positive interconnection with all of these divine beings and make us more receptive to their positive blessings. So thank you all very much for being here. I'm going to put up the chart of today based off of my location right now. So this is the South Indian style of the chart. This is a sidereal chart. Each of these little boxes is representing a zodiac sign. Where it says AC or ascendant, that's the sign that is coming up on the eastern horizon in my location at the moment. This is the sign of Leo. And then we're going to go from Leo, we'll start here, we'll go around the chart in a clockwise direction to all the signs that have a planet in it. Today, K2 is sitting in Libra or Taurus. The moon, which was over here when we started last Monday, he's moved all the way over now into Scorpio. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn. Saturn is retrograde right now in Aquarius. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces, and he's also here with Jupiter in Pisces. Mars, Uranus, and Rahu are all in Aries. Venus is in Taurus, and Mercury and the sun are both in Gemini right now. So this is the chart that we're working with. Here I have a little bit of water. I'm going to right now sprinkle a little bit of water around the 4 areas or the 4 sides of the chalkboard where I have the chart of now drawn in my own hand in chalk on a side table. I've sprinkled water in all the 4 directions, put a drop of water on top of myself, and I'm also sending a little drop of water out to all of you in the audience so that now we're all in a sacred space for beginning this puja. I have, in addition to the chalkboard with the chart of now, I have a little tea light, I have a little fan, and I also have a bell that I'll be using toward the end of the puja. Right now I have a big bowl of flower petals, and I'm going to be offering flower petals as we go along. We first start with just invoking Ganesha, the archetype who rules, well, who not rules, but who can remove obstacles for us. We invoke him right now at the start of everything that we do in the Vedic system. We invoke Ganesha with the sounds Om, Sring, S-R-I-N-G, Gung, G-U-N-G. Om Sring Gung, Om Sring Gung, Om Sring Gung. We ask Ganesha to come and to remove all obstacles from this puja, and we thank him for his help with this. Now we invoke a chant asking all of the planets to be beneficial to us. This chant is part of a larger hymn by the Tamil saint Gnanasamundar. Asura Nalla Nalla, Aveya Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avarkumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Aveya Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avarkumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Aveya Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avarkumikave. We ask all of the planets and divine beings that we're about to invoke to be positive towards us. And we thank Saint Gnanasamundar for giving us this chant. Now we're going to turn our attention to, first we're going to honor the planet that rules the day. Today is Monday right now, and that's ruled by the moon. I'm going to invoke the moon, and as I do this, each time I say the chant, I'm going to put a flower petal on top of the moon on my chalkboard in the chart where he is. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Next, we're going to invoke the star that the moon is in. The moment the moon is in the star of Jayesta, this is a huge star, and it can give energies of leadership and courage. We invoke this star, and I'll put the flower petals on top of the moon again because he's the one in this star. Om Jayestaye Namaha. Om Jayestaye Namaha. Om Jayestaye Namaha. Now we invoke the Tithi, or the moon phase. At the moment, we're in the 13th waxing moon, called Trayodasi in Sanskrit. Dr. Pillai said for the moon phase, we would use the Sanskrit name of the moon phase, which in this case is Trayodasi, and add the word Devye to honor the being of that moon phase. Om Trayodasi Devye Namaha. Om Trayodasi Devye Namaha. Om Trayodasi Devye Namaha. Now we invoke the planet that's ruling the Hora, or the hour. Right now in my area, the Hora is being ruled by Mars. We honor Mars, and I'm going to put flower petals on top of Mars as I do this. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we turn our attention. Oh, excuse me. We're also going to say the name of the two other time elements, the yoga and the karana. Dr. Pillai said with these, we wouldn't do flower petals, but we would say their name 3 times. The yoga right now is sukla, or which means has the energy of bright focus. Sukla, sukla, sukla. And the karana right now is kalava, which has the energy of social. Kalava, kalava, kalava. Now we turn our attention to the chart of the moment, and we start with honoring the planet that rules the ascendant, which right now is in the sign of Leo. Leo is what's coming up on the eastern horizon in my area at the moment. Leo is ruled by the sun. So I'm going to put the flower petals on top of the sun as I chant for the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we're going to go in a clockwise direction from Leo until we come to the first Rasi or sign that has a planet in it, which right now is Tula or Libra, which has Ketu. We honor Ketu. I'll put flower petals on top of Ketu. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Ketu right now is in a star called Vishaka, a star that has competitive energy, a star that has energies of success. We honor Vishaka. I'll put the flower petals on top of Ketu because he's the one in this star. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Vishaka is ruled by a pair of archetypes, Indra and Agni. Indra gives energy of leadership and courage, and Agni is the archetype of fire. He gives energy for transformation and also purification. We invoke this pair of archetypes. I put the flower petals again on top of Ketu. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules the star of Vishaka, which is Jupiter. Now I put the flower petals on top of on top of Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Tula or Libra, which is Venus. We honor Venus. I put the flower petals on top of Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Tula or Libra, a sign of balance and harmony. Today containing Ketu, the saintly planet that gives us longing for liberation. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Vrishaka or Scorpio, which today contains the moon. We honor the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. The moon is in the star of Jayesta, an incredibly large star. If you put Jayesta in our solar system, where the sun is, it would go out past the sun, past Mercury, past Venus, past the Earth, past Mars, and halfway out to Jupiter. It is a huge star, and it's a star that can help us with leadership and with courage. We invoke this star, and as we do so, I put the flower petals on top of the moon, as he's the one that's in this star right now. Om Jayastaye Namaha. Om Jayastaye Namaha. Om Jayastaye Namaha. Now we invoke the archetype who rules Jayasta, which is Indra. Indra can give blessings of leadership, can help us grow into our own qualities of being a leader. Om Indraye Namaha. Om Indraye Namaha. Om Indraye Namaha. Now we invoke the planet that rules Jayasta, which is Mercury. I'm going to honor Mercury and put the flower petals on top of Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Scorpio, which is Mars. I'll put the flower petals on top of Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Vrishika or Scorpio, the most occult of all of the signs, today containing the moon, which is our mind and our emotions. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasier sign with a planet in it is Makara or Capricorn, which today contains Pluto. Pluto is retrograde and extra powerful. We invoke Pluto, a planet that can help us with rationality and science. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Today, Pluto is in the star of Uttarashada, a star that can give long-lasting success. We honor this star. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Uttarashada is ruled by the 10 Visvadevas. These are all sons of Brahma. They were created by his mind, and each of them represents a particular divine universal principle. We invoke their blessings. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Now we invoke the planet that rules Uttarashada star, which is the sun. I'm going to honor the sun and put the flower petals on top of the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Makara or Capricorn, which is Saturn. We honor Saturn, and I put the flower petals on top of Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Makara or Capricorn, a sign of ancient past life abilities and skills, today containing Pluto, a planet of rationality and science. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Kumbha or Aquarius, which today contains Saturn. Saturn right now is retrograde and extra powerful. We honor Saturn, and I put the flower petals on top of Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Right now, Saturn is in the star of Dhanishta, a star of music and prosperity. We honor Dhanishta star. I put the flower petals again on top of Saturn because he's the one in that star. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Dhanishta star is ruled by the 8 Vasus, 8 archetypes who are light beings who represent different kinds of elemental energies. We honor them. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Dhanishta star is ruled by Mars. We honor Mars, and I put the flower petals on top of Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Kumbha or Aquarius, which is Saturn. Again, I put flower petals on top of Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Kumbha or Aquarius, the most humanitarian of all the zodiac signs, today containing Saturn, a planet of patience and discipline, and a planet that truly likes it when we experience compassion and are willing to be of service to others. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet it is Misha or Pisces, which today contains Neptune and Jupiter. Neptune is retrograde and extra powerful. We invoke Neptune, a planet who helps with intuition and our ability to understand our inner self. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Neptune right now is in the star of Purva Bhadrapada, a star with the fire of transformational change and Kundalini. We honor this star. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada is ruled by the archetype Aja Ekapada, a one-footed archetype who can help us to experience both silence and the energies of forgiveness. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada star is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on top of Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Jupiter is in the star of Uttara Bhadrapada. Dr. Pillai says this star can help us with business development. We honor this star. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttarvajrapadaye Namaha. Uttarvajrapada star is ruled by Arbundiya, a deity of the deep, and he has energies that help to guard our treasure. Om Arbundiyaye Namaha. Om Arbundiyaye Namaha. Om Arbundiyaye Namaha. Uttarvajra star is ruled by Saturn. We honor Saturn. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Now we turn our attention to honoring Jupiter as being the planet that rules Meena or Pisces. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Meena or Pisces, the most transcendental and metaphysical of all the signs, today containing Neptune, the planet that helps with our intuition, and Jupiter, the planet that helps us with all forms of spiritual teaching and our relationship with spiritual teachers. And he also can help us with wealth, with all matters related to banking and all legal matters. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Misha or Aries, which today contains Mars, Uranus, and Rahu. We first honor Mars, and I put the flower petals on top of Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Mars is in the star of Ashwini, a star associated with energies of both speed and healing. Om Ashwiniye Namaha. Om Ashwiniye Namaha. Om Ashwiniye Namaha. Ashwini star is ruled by the Ashwini Kumars, horse-headed twins who have tremendous healing energies. They're considered even the physicians of the gods themselves. We invoke their presence. Om Ashwini Kumarsye Namaha. Om Ashwini Kumarsye Namaha. Om Ashwini Kumarsye Namaha. The Ashwini star is ruled by Ketu. We honor Ketu and put the flower petals on top of Ketu. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Now we honor Uranus for being in Aries. And Uranus and Rahu today are both in the same star. So I'll invoke both of those planets before I invoke the star. First, we invoke Uranus, a star that helps with intelligence, innovation, success in life, and also a star who helps with astrology. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Now I'm going to invoke Rahu because both he and Uranus are in the same star. Now I put the flower petals on top of Rahu. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Uranus and Rahu are both in the star of Bharani, a star symbolized with the yoni, the female private parts. This is a star with a tremendous amount of divine feminine power and Shakti and energy. We invoke the blessings of this star. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Barniye Namaha. Om Barniye Namaha. Barney star is ruled by Yama, an archetype who, among other things, helps with justice. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. The star of Barney is ruled by Venus. We honor Venus, and I put the flower petals on top of Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Misha or Aries, which is Mars. We honor Mars, and I put the flower petals again on top of Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Misha or Aries, a sign of active energy and action, today containing Mars, a warrior healer planet, Uranus, a planet of high intelligence, and Rahu, planet of openness to new ideas and new technologies. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Vrishabha or Taurus, which today contains Venus. We honor Venus, and I put the flower petals on top of Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Today, Venus is in the star of Mrgashira, a star that helps us to be open and curious about learning new things, having new experiences. We honor this star. Om Mrgashiraye Namaha. Om Mrgashiraye Namaha. Om Mrgashiraye Namaha. Mrgashira is ruled by Soma, one of the forms of the moon. That's honoring the liquid that the moon rules. The moon rules all forms of sap in plants, the water that's in the tides, etc. We honor Soma, and again, I put the flower petals on top of Venus because he's the one that's in this star that is ruled by Soma. Om Somaye Namaha. Om Somaye Namaha. Om Somaye Namaha. Mrgashira star is ruled by Venus. We honor Venus, and I put the flower petals now on top of, Mrgashira star is ruled by Mars, and I put the flower petals now on top of Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Vrishabha or Taurus, which happens to be Venus. Again, we honor Venus and put flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Vrishabha or Taurus. It's the most grounded and luxury loving of all of the signs, today containing Venus, planet of happiness, and also planet that helps us to enjoy material plane comforts. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign that has a planet in it is Mithuna or Gemini, which today contains Mercury and the Sun. We start by honoring Mercury, and I put the flower petals on top of Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Right now, Mercury is in the star of Ardra, a star symbolized as a teardrop of compassion. And I put the flower petals again on top of Mercury because he's the one in this star. Om Ardraye Namaha. Om Ardraye Namaha. Om Ardraye Namaha. The star Ardra is ruled by Rudra, a form of Shiva that destroys negativity. Om Rudraye Namaha. Om Rudraye Namaha. Om Rudraye Namaha. The star Ardra is ruled by Rahu. I honor Rahu and put flower petals on top of him. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Next, we honor the sun. I put flower petals on top of the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Right now, the sun is in the star of Punarvasu, a star with energies of being freedom-loving. We honor this star. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Purnavasu's star is ruled by Aditi, an amazing goddess who is the mother of many of the archetypes, including even the sun himself. We honor Aditi and put the flower petals on top of the sun because he's the one in the star that's ruled by Aditi. Om Aditye Namaha. Om Aditye Namaha. Om Aditye Namaha. The star Purnavasu is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on top of Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Matuna or Gemini, which happens to be Mercury. Again, I put flower petals on top of Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Now I'm going to take a tea light and I'm going to pass it over the chalkboard, over the chart in a clockwise direction 3 times, offering the element of light to all of the divine beings that we have just invoked. I'm passing it around the chart 3 times in a clockwise direction over the chart and all the flower petals, offering the element of light. Now I'm going to wave a little fan, offering the element of air. I have a housemate who's sensitive to scent, so I don't offer incense. Some of you could just wave an incense stick 3 times around the chart if you want to, but I'm waving a little fan, a hand fan, gently 3 times around the chart and over the flower petals, offering the element of air to all these divine beings that we've just invoked. And now I'm taking a bell and I'm going to ring it 3 times in a clockwise direction around the chart, offering the element of sound. Now we make some prayers to all of these divine beings that we have just invoked, asking them to bring their positive blessings into us, our families, our friends, our households, our communities, our workplaces, our cities, our states, our countries, and indeed the entire world. We pray to them that everyone on this planet may have healthy food to eat, clean water to drink, a safe place to live, clean air to breathe, good clothes to wear, access to health care, good education, sustainable jobs, and may everyone on this planet have love in their life now and always. And we make our bow. You can continue to make your personal prayers for about a minute or so, and then I'll take any questions for a few minutes. Okay, for a few moments, I can take questions if there's any questions. I'm doing this puja Monday through Friday on the Religion of Religions channel. It's happening at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And the chart is based off the location where I am, which is Florida. So we're working with those time Shakti elements. But the blessings can go out to all of you, whatever time zone or day of the week it is for you, whether you're watching the replay or watching it live. The blessings are going out to all of you. I just want to share, I had a really cool experience over the weekend. I'm including the 3 outer planets in our puja, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, because Dr. Pillai this year had statues created for his temple in India of those 3 outer planets and had them energized. And the mantras we're using are the mantras that were used in the fire lab for energizing those statues. And over the weekend, I came across an article that said there's a nadi somewhere in a museum in Chennai that has a discussion between sage Vishvamitra and Vasistha, which would have been a long, long time ago, talking about the 3 outer planets and saying that in the Kali Yuga, it would be the astrologers of that time that would learn the characteristics of those planets. And then the same day that I came across that article, I came across a class that was going to be taught by a very distinguished Vedic professor on the 3 outer planets. And I was able to take that class over the weekend. So I was able to get a download of a lot more information about those planets. She has been working with those planets in her charts for quite some time now. So I was really excited that just after 1 week of doing the Planetary Pooja, I kind of had this great gift of learning more about the outer planets kind of fall into my lap. So I found that exciting. I just had to share that. So working with the planets and the stars and the archetypes, they're all, out there, but they're also all inside of us as well. We're all interconnected with them, and they're all also a part of us. And as we pay attention to them and open up our receptivity to their positive blessings, their gifts start to flow into us more and more. And in doing the daily, the little puja, we start to see the movement of the different planets. We see that the moon is, zipping around the chart pretty quickly. We see some of the planets going into a different star. The other day, Venus was in Rohini, now he's in Mrigashira, etc., like that. So you start to actually experience how time is changing and every moment is precious and, different from the moment that came before. Dr. Pillai's, one of his big teachings is every moment is new. Every moment is new. So we always have a fresh opportunity to have a positive thought, to do something positive. Okay, I'm not really seeing questions in the chat, which is fine. If you do have questions later, you can email me. Valli@pillaicenter.com is my email address. And I am grateful to Dr. Pillai for the blessing for doing this puja. And I invite you to press the like button on the video and also to subscribe to the Religion of Religions channel, as Dr. Pillai would really like to see this channel grow. There are other programs on this channel. You're welcome to check that out. And thank you all for being here. I don't want to keep you too long. Not seeing any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and let us just close out for today. Namaste. Blessings to everyone. See you tomorrow.